Welcome back to another episode of the Slice Tennis Podcast, hosted by Stephen Boughton and myself, JP Hovey. We have another jam-packed show for you. We're headed into the second week of the U.S. Open, so we're going to dive in to all of those headlines. Felix into the second week with a nice little round of 16 matchup. Hopefully he can push himself into the quarterfinals. We'll talk a little bit about Dennis's match versus Sinner, how he looked, things to be excited about. We'll also preview Djokovic versus Fritz. Huge matchup for Fritz coming up. Huge matchup for both of them. And then, of course, we're going to hit all the other U.S. Open headlines because there has been a ton of them. Ostapenko, she was getting in the mix with Townsend a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Townsend was in an epic match with Krejcikova, which was insane. And then, of course, we got to hit our Eala hour. I can't remember if I already said that, but before we get into the episode, Steven, what's been going on with the Boughton family? I've been seeing the family on the move via Instagram story.
Yeah, my son has been continuing to walk, kind of like run around now. He's just crushing it with his walking. And it was funny, my wife takes film photos. So we just took we just got some of them back, and we live right beside the ocean. So we were down there the other night and on this rock, and she was kind of taking photos. So it's kind of backlit. So he's just like almost a silhouette, and he's standing out there, and he just looks so cute, right? Because he's got this big head, little body, and he's just like doing this or something, and it looks exactly like E.T. Like E.T. Go Home. I don't know if you're on my close friends list.
Yeah.
Are you? You saw that one?
I think, or maybe this could be drama if I'm not.
This could be seriously bad if you're not. Let me see,
because I feel like I saw something.
Let's check live. I think you are.
Oh, I am. Yeah.
You see that picture?
Yeah, that jug is hilarious. You gotta ride him. You need to get a bike and put him in the basket and recreate that photo.
Yeah, little ET.
Yeah.
No, but he's good. We had a 40th anniversary for my wife's parents. 40 years showing out. We had like a seafood boil. So have you ever had one of those?
How do y'all do it? Because I'm pretty sure the answer is yes for me.
Yeah, well, this was our first time, so I'm not gonna act like we're professionals here. But they just did like a ton of different seafood with like corn on the cob, potatoes, sausages in a big massive pot, and it has a bunch of spices in it.
Yep.
Is that what you guys do?
Yeah, and then what kind of seafood you put in?
Well, they put in shrimp, snow crab, mussels, some other little mini crabs.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same. It's funny because I feel like we have two different kinds of boils. We have seafood boil, which is exactly what you kind of described, and then we have low country boil, which is like very popular in the South Carolina low country. It's popular everywhere, but it seems that the Southeast has grabbed onto it, and that's just corn on the cob, potatoes, shrimp, and sausage with the spices on it. And I love it, dude. The sausage in low country boil is some of my favorite sausage of all time. Do with that what you will, comments, but that's one of my number one sausages.
That's his favorite type of sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was good. We had also, I don't know if you guys have it there, but we had this like fresh Dungeness crab. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't think I have.
It's like a type of crab up here. It's really good. And so we got like the other stuff was from like Costco or whatever, but this was from like live. It was like live, and then they killed it and we took it home, and then live or fresh mussels as well. But we cooked that separately, like steam that crab, because it's just you break it apart and it's like pretty expensive, but it's like gold, and like
right
the leg meat out there. And I was giving it to Shepard, like eating myself. It's very cool.
Dude, that's hype that he was digging in, because I feel like seafood can be tricky for people, even kids and also adults too.
Yeah. No, he was eating shrimp. He's had shrimp before, and he's that was fun. So we had a good week, and then lots watching U.S. Open. How about you? How was your week? I know you were traveling.
Yeah, weekend was good. On Thursday, we went to Kansas City to go to Nebraska-Cincinnati football game. We also got to talk to future brother-in-law of Taylor Swift, Jason Kelce.
Wow.
We did an interview with him, which was incredible. He's the man. And then we flew to Columbus, Ohio, where we actually had a bunch of seafood. We had some mussels at our dinner there. But we
Pretty
went to
far from
Ohio
the sea.
State.
Doesn't that get a little bit sketchy to you?
We always get hate on it on the internet. They're like, "Why did you order blank in the middle of the United States?" Like, look, man, we're getting all this stuff from overseas anyways. Um, we just out here importing.
Yeah.
But we went to Ohio State versus Texas football game, and then flew home after that, and then I drove to Atlanta the next morning to go watch my alma mater, South Carolina Gamecocks, who our editor Jacob tells me there's another show in the Nation Network hosted by Whit Merrifield. That is a baseball podcast. If you're a baseball fan, check that out. Whit Merrifield, Gamecock legend. So small world, both under the same umbrella.
Let's
But
go.
in the U.S., specifically the Southeast, college football is back. So the boys are on the road again, and it is probably the best time of year because there's a whole lot of hope filled in your heart about your team when you finish week one undefeated. And I
Yeah.
think there's a whole lot of hope in this U.S. Open field and for Alex Eala. Even though she only won one match, she got the match win. She made history. Obviously, she was going to have an emotional adrenaline dump in the second match. You hoped she could keep the momentum going, but understandably, unfortunately takes an L. But she's back at it again. What do you have to make of it for our Alex Eala hour?
Yeah, Alcaraz, she lost to Buxa in the second round of the U.S. Open, and I was thinking about it, like Buxa is just a classic pro. She's a veteran pro. Like losing to her is not surprising, really. She's Spanish. She's been around for a while. She's also one of those pros. I was thinking actually when I was watching her, there's certain pro male players that if they were just walking down the street in street clothes and you didn't know who they were, you would never think that they were a pro tennis player. Brooks is kind of like that on the women's side. I mean, she's probably pretty tall for a woman and, you know, athletic looking, but she kind of just looks like the girl next door. I don't know, like it's just anyone. And then she's just like a killer at tennis. But this isn't the Books hour. This is the Eala hour. So she loses and then she goes, for the last few weeks, Eala's been like, or last month or so, I feel like she's only been playing the big tournaments. Like I think she played Canada, then the U.S. Open, but now she's dropping down to Guadalajara, Mexico, to play a challenger, where she's the second seed. So she's trying to get more matches in, probably get some more match wins, and I love that for her. Like she's a bit of that IMG royalty, Filipino
Right.
royalty, IMG big money, kind of like trying to do. She gets into any tournament she wants, but she's going to do it the blue collar way in Guadalajara. Love it.
Love it. That's the way. I feel like not enough players do that after they get some steam. They always want to go play the big tournament. They want to keep being in the headlines. And I feel like this is the smartest play for her going forward don't get ahead of yourself. Don't bite off more than you can chew
Yeah.
and just keep it rolling.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to keep it rolling. And if you see me looking over to the left of my screen, it's because I'm also realizing we're not even going to get into this yet, but the hat incident at the U.S. Open where the guy took the hat from the little kid.
Yeah.
I'm doing some side scrolling to see if this guy, because he's a Polish businessman, they've identified. Doing some side scrolling to see if anything more has come out of it. We're not going to talk about that yet. We're going to talk about Djokovic versus Fritz preview. Steven, what do you think Taylor Fritz needs to do to get this W over Djokovic?
Well, he's got to do something different than he's done the last 10 times they've played because it's an 0-10 record for Fritz. But obviously, I don't think he's ever had a better chance than he does tomorrow to beat him because Djokovic is the oldest he's ever been. He's only playing majors. He essentially has petered out physically in the last few majors he's played. And Fritz is in the prime of his career physically and everything else at his home slam. You've got to think that if Taylor Fritz can do this before Djokovic retires, like beat him, this will be the time. He's got the power to do it. He's got the game to do it. He literally has the pieces to the pie to get this done. To him, it's about rising to the moment. He made the final last year, so he's played big matches. He knows what that feels like. But yeah, both obviously incredible baseline game. Taylor's got the big serve, the big forehand, the big backhand. Like he can do it.
Right.
Um, it's going to be actually to me more interesting almost to see Djokovic against a top level opponent at the U.S. Open to see where Djokovic is at physically. So I
I
really
know.
think this one's up in the air, and the 10-0 head-to-head record doesn't really do anything for me for this one.
You're right. And I feel like it doesn't do anything for Fritz either for all those reasons. It's kind of like with Djokovic, it feels like in his last Grand Slams, you're sort of just he'll be playing great, and then you get a little bit later into the tournament, and something goes on with his body, nothing that he can control, and so But there's also, I'm sure, I hold out the hope for him. A lot of tennis fans hold out the hope for him. It's like maybe this is the tournament where he feels good all the way through. I know he had the back issue versus Norrie, which I need to ask you real quick on that one. You saw Cam Norrie's comments before the match.
I did not.
He was basically saying, I gotta come ready, I gotta come prepared, and even if he, like has to go into the locker room and do his things if he gets hurt, whatever, like kind of referring to Djokovic going back into the thing, getting his special Djokovic juice when he comes back out and like turns it up on people.
Yeah,
And everybody was grabbing it and they were like, "Is this a dig? Is this whatever?"
of course.
And then, but I thought it was hilarious that in that match, Djokovic, not hilarious that if he did really, I'm sure he did have like some back tightness, whatever it was, or a strain, he says. But he went into the locker room, came out and whooped him
Yeah.
afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, I could also see Djokovic being a hilarious troll and be like, "Oh, is this what he wants? All right, I'll give him exactly what he wants."
Yeah. Well, here I'm looking at a quote here. I actually just put it in, and he goes, Novak Djokovic said, "I don't know if Norrie thinks I was doing that on purpose to bother him, but it was not my intention. I felt I needed the treatment, and I felt better. It was there just for a few games, and after that, it was fine." So Djokovic is aware that he's like,
Oh yeah.
if he's down, he's taking a timeout. But a lot of players do that. So it's I'm not gonna have the Djokovic derangement syndrome here, but
Right.
Cam Norrie is like also fair comment for him, but he's never beating Djokovic. So let's just be honest with that. That's sorry to be savage there, but it is what it
Dude,
is.
and so we're talking about the derangement syndrome,
Yeah,
and this will be a quick one. And it's kind of on the topic of Dennis playing against Yannick Sinner. I'm trying to search it up right now because I want to make sure I get the point correct.
yeah,
But you're saying everybody does it, right? They go to the locker room, there's gamesmanship involved. People are out there saying the gamesmanship was involved in Yannick Sinner versus Denis Shapovalov because Dennis was applying that pressure in the first set, obviously drops the second set, but keeps playing well and is
yeah,
in a lot of the points. A lot of the games are going to 30-40, 40-40, a couple of deuce points. And then in the third set, and I wasn't able to find it, but in the third set, Dennis is serving to either hold serve or hold a break. And it's 40-40 on Dennis's serve. Sinner decides to hang on, I need to change my shoe. There's nothing visibly wrong with his shoe. And maybe there was something and we just can't see it. TV can't capture everything.
yeah.
But do we think it was gamesmanship? What does it say about Dennis's level? What does it say about Yannick Sinner? Because obviously he was able to turn it on and just do what he does and put his foot on Dennis's neck afterwards. But
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
that is crazy because I'm looking it up here. Yes, it was the third set, 40 all. Shapovalov was up a break, trying to essentially consolidate the break. He'd already consolidated, but he's trying to just hold another to get to 4-1. 40 all. Yeah, that's crazy. Like I don't know what the rule is like with that. Like maybe if Sinner's like lace breaks, which like that can happen, like then I think that's pretty valid. But there's no transparency on that. Like who but Dennis, did he react to that at all?
Not really, but he didn't react to much because There was another time where Sinner asked for the brightness to be turned down on like one of the digital serve clocks
Oh yeah.
behind Dennis on either side. And in my head, I'm thinking, dang, I mean, like Dennis is serving from that side too, and it didn't seem to be an issue. And there was kind of a stop and play, but Dennis remained
Yeah.
locked in and calm. And I mean, he was playing like it, dude. He looks smooth out there. And you said in your tweet that it, like he has the game to do it. I don't know if you want to elaborate on your tweet anymore.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, looking back on that tweet, I think it's one of my most accurate tweets ever. Like I said, Felix has a 50% shot with Zverev, confirmed.
Bang.
And Sinner or Shapovalov has he's one of the few guys on tour who can actually beat Sinner with his game. Like he actually has the game to hurt and beat Sinner. Obviously, hurting him is different than beating him. So he definitely hurt him in this match and pushed him. To beat him, you got to do it for 3 sets and win 3 sets, which is the challenge. But he was up in that third set, and if he, he probably he probably let it go a little bit there. Like I think
Right.
Chapo in his post-match press conference was, he was a bit upset that he had not been able to focus there and get through that set. But you're up early on a break. Like if you gotten the double break to go to 4-0, you would have thought he would have got there. But throughout the match, you saw him in the rallies be able to push Sinner around, be able to defend, be able to move with him. When it's serving super well at the beginning of the match, it's very hard to hang with him. So. Yeah, no, that's an encouraging match for Shapovalov for sure, even in the loss. It's the type of matches he wants to be playing. That's what he said. You're testing yourself against like the house Sinner, the best
Right.
player. Where am I at? And yeah, he pushed him around. He challenged him for 4 sets, really. And it was, a really high quality match from him.
Yeah.
Don't know if it was exactly Sinner's best. Like maybe that's why he was fidgeting around with some of these things. Like,
For sure. Because
uncomfortable.
he was like Sinner was smacking balls just kind of like into the stands on some of his forehands. Wasn't
Yeah.
feeling it. But yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, he could have been having a bad day, but it's also a credit to Dennis for
Oh yeah.
a lot of other guys can't put him in a position to make have some unforced errors.
Or like have a bad day. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. So, I was saying
It
in
was
the show I
good,
did
man.
yesterday, like Sinner's not untouchable. Like he was down 2 sets
Right.
to love versus Dimitrov at Wimbledon. Like
Yep.
he and obviously it wasn't really a match in Cincinnati, but he lost to Alcaraz in Cincinnati. But well, he didn't lose, so he had to withdraw. But my point is, he is not unbeatable. No one has been before. Like there's been number ones who have been as
Right.
more dominant than Sinner, and they still lose, especially at the U.S. Open. Crazy stat: no one's defended this tournament since 2008.
Your boy?
I guess so. Yeah, it would have been. Well, yeah, and he defended it like 4 years in a row. So I think he won. I think Federer won 5 years in a row, and
That
then
is a crazy stat.
yeah, that
And
is
I
great.
mean, yeah, and so shoot, might have to double down on my futures bet
Well,
in this
that's the
tournament.
question. Is Sinner going to be able to defend his title? Because the U.S. Open is just a bit more wild. Like that's what this year's showing that with the injuries that kind of accumulate through the year. It's the last major of the year. Players, maybe they go out a little bit too much in New York, have a little bit too much fun. You never know how much their focus is at coming into this tournament, and no one's defended it since 2008. So there's got to be a reason why.
I know, man. Encouraging match for Dennis.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of guys need that type of match against Sinner for their confidence of just like, oh, wait, hang on a second. I can actually play with him for the guys that do have those weapons like
Yeah.
Dennis. I
Yes.
can play with him and it's doable to beat him because it's also the same with Alcaraz. Like there's plenty of times Alcaraz loses early in the tournament. Like he's a beatable top player, but we got to get into Felix versus Rublev, Felix in general.
Mm.
What did you see out of that Zverev match that makes you confident going into the Rublev match? Rublev has been playing extremely better tennis than he had been previously in the year. But
Yeah.
Felix, dude, on court, you see that the thing that you always want him to do more, just a little bit more of that like killer instinct.
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like it's coming together for him. And this is the exact Felix that all the Felix fans want to see on court.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you see, I got my sweater on, right? I got my sweater on today because it's chilly, because that was like one of the coldest celebrations that
Yeah,
I can remember. I love when Felix does a celebration like that and kind of has some of that attitude where he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't even know what he said. He's to his box, probably in French. He's like, yeah, you've been talking. Everyone's been talking. I've heard it
right.
all. He's like, he's probably talking to himself. Like I haven't played a match like that in a while at a major, and that's it. And I love making those mixes and putting the song to it. I'm a
Yeah,
Boss by Rick Ross with Meek Mill. Just, the ultimate like pump yourself up song.
right.
Felix needed that win, and you could see it. And he played great. Like the forehand, just letting it eat, like letting the big
Yeah,
dog eat was what he had to do. And he let that shot go magnificently. 50 winners to like 35 unforced errors, I think. Just super high quality tennis. And when he's hitting his first serve and following up with that type of forehand, it's a top 10 easy combination in the game. And that's the most important combination in the game of tennis for the men,
mm,
especially. So, yeah, super impressive match against Zverev. Zverev's, is always beatable for sure. But
right.
he, at the beginning of the first set, you're like, yeah, no, okay, I don't watch a million Zverev matches against, not, against everyone. He does hit a huge ball, but, after the first set where Felix said he was super nervous, he was able to calm down a bit, win that second set in a tiebreaker, which is super obviously big, and then kind of find his groove. And he was clearly the better player there for the last two sets, I thought. And yeah, I think it showed everyone that how good he is and how good he, where his ranking should be if he can play like that consistently. And that's the challenge for him, to do that consistently. So, like you say, great opportunity here to back it up versus Rublev, who's a lower ranked player than Zverev. And they've played, I think they played um, in earlier in the year in February. And Rublev got him. Well, they played in Hamburg and Rublev beat him. They played in Qatar, Rublev beat him. So, and in Madrid, he beat him. And in Rotterdam, he beat him. So, yeah. They've like when's the last time Felix beat him? I think Rotterdam 2022 is the last time Felix beat him.
Seems
But
like the perfect year to switch to turn the tides.
yeah, but to be honest, like I'm not looking at a guy like Rublev and being like, oh, he's unbeatable at all. Like he's
Right.
lost a ton of matches as well. His rankings dropped a bit. Um, so yeah, I think in that matchup, Felix has a bigger serve, much bigger serve. He's got like the Rublev forehand is his best shot, so they've got both pretty nasty forehands. But if Felix can play downhill, play loose, play like he kind of doesn't care a little bit, like just be mentally
Right.
free and just go for your shots, you know, I think he could beat him. I kind of think he's the favorite in that way.
Dude, I mean, it would be massive. And who would he be playing if he won in the quarterfinals?
Yeah, well, I got to bring that up here, but he's got it would be probably de Minaur or Leandro Reedy. So like Felix is in that quarter of the draw where I was like, if he beats out the top seed in that quarter, Zverev, which he did,
Yeah.
a little bit open, like right, like you're not playing Sinner or Alcaraz in the quarters, you're playing de Minaur, who just in it's like just factual. Felix can beat Rublev, and he could beat de Minaur. It's
Right.
obviously two really tough opponents, and de Minaur's higher ranked than him. So is Rublev, but de Minaur's like legit, um, a top player, and he's
Yeah.
cool stat about de Minaur. I saw it today. He, Djokovic, Sinner, and Alcaraz are the only four players to make the second week in like the last 9 majors.
Wow.
So he's been consistent.
He's been consistent, been making a ton of money too.
Yeah, that's right.
He,
But
he
he's
is,
been consistent, which is Felix has had problems, for the last few
right.
years.
Dude, de Minaur, I do feel like he is one of the truly outside of the people you just named, and clearly based off the results, he is one of the only players that over the last even to 3 years have been consistent in the top 10. I feel like
Yeah.
the top 10 is always changing, but
Mm,
de Minaur is always in it.
mm.
And man, you just for his own sake, you wish he could get his best result at some tournament this year instead of having to go down to an injury or face a tough draw, because I feel like the consistency has got to be rewarded at some point for Minaur playing a high level of tennis.
For sure. And they were actually talking about how I watched a bit of his press conference yesterday. I was driving around, and they were talking about how he's always on the outer courts in the first few
Yeah,
rounds. Like, he doesn't really get the big stadiums. And he's like, it is a bit confusing, but and I think him and
he's
Katie
fun to
both,
watch too.
he is fun to watch. Him and Katie Boulter apparently asked for a mixed doubles berth, and they just didn't give it to him
Which
in the
is
tournament.
crazy.
That is insane to me. But
Yeah, we might have to start fighting for Minaur more.
yeah,
on
he's
the
a guy you got to put on
individuals.
for him.
Yeah, I got to put on.
Um,
Dude, talk about stadium matchups.
mm,
Probably the most intriguing stadium matchup is happening tonight, 6 p.m. Central Time in Arthur Ashe.
mm.
Bublik versus Sinner. Bublik is the Sinner killer. If there's somebody that can do it randomly, it's Alexander or Sasha Bublik.
Yeah,
And that one is going to be fireworks. Or Sinner could win in straight sets, and it'll take them an hour.
yeah, yeah. Both, you're right. Both of those scenarios are definitely possible. But you saw during the Tommy Paul match how powerful Bublik is. Like, he's taking his career seriously. Out again, obviously, like he's had that attitude at some points in his career. Like, I don't care about this, but you can, this year, especially since he's kind of made his comeback.
Right.
Was it at Wimbledon where he had the run?
I think
I
let me
think
see if I
so.
can pull it up.
But you can tell it matters to him, and he was crying on the court about some of the wins he had at no, it wasn't Wimbledon, lost in the first
Yeah.
round there, but he
He
no,
made
it
it
was
to
the
the
French Open.
quarterfinal of the French Open.
Yeah, he made the quarters there. He beat Draper. Um, he takes his career
Lost to
seriously, and he's
Fritz.
a good athlete, and he's big. Like, so he's got power in spades from the baseline. Like, he was hitting a lot of winners against Tommy Paul. He's got a massive serve, obviously. So yeah, he can definitely hurt Sinner over 5 sets. I really don't know if he could beat him, but
I know. Dude, I'm looking through his season right now. His season is just hilarious.
it's so
It's
chaotic.
so chaotic. He's like every now and then he's like playing in a challenger, winning the challenger. Then he lost first round Australian Open. He was in the qualifiers for Monte Carlo and lost.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, like he's everywhere, bro. And it is, French Open. Obviously, he makes it to the quarterfinals. Wimbledon loses first round,
Yeah.
wins in his very next tournament.
What did he win?
Oh, wait, he won back-to-back tournaments. He won the Swiss Open,
Oh, jeez.
and then he won the Generali Open.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. And he won the Hala 500 on grass earlier in the
Yeah.
year after he beat Sinner. So he beat Sinner, beat Mahac, the 7th seed, beat Khachanov, the 8th seed, and then beat Medvedev in the final.
Bublik's on a 2-tournament win streak, and he's looking for number 3.
Wait, that's actually insane. Wait. No, he's on a 3-tournament win streak. Wait. Okay, well, if you take Wimbledon out, he's won
Yeah,
3 of the last 4 tournaments he's played.
Oh,
Uh,
Eastbourne?
no, he won Hala. Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Eastbourne. Or wait, no, he didn't play in Eastbourne.
that's
He pulled
right.
out of that. So he won Hala. I'm just going off the Google results here, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's I would say the definition of a dangerous player right now.
The last guy you wanna see in the second week of a tournament.
Yeah, like, Sinner's just like fidgeting a little bit, thinking
I
about.
know. He's like, "Dude, you could have easily dropped any of these matches, and you're more likely than not going to play your best tennis in our match," which obviously Sinner's best tennis is better than Bublik's best tennis.
Yeah.
But that crowd, that Bublik is gonna get the crowd on his side,
Yes.
and if he does that, there's no telling what happens.
Honestly, because the US crowd loves chaos,
Oh,
and there's some people who don't like Sinner still. So yeah, Sinner's he can't be stoked about that, but he also has got that little chip on his shoulder now, I think, and he'll definitely be
right.
backing himself, be like, "All right, let's let the Joker come for Batman. We'll see."
Yeah, there's a reason Batman is the title of the movie and not Joker.
Yeah,
Although I
exactly.
guess there are Joker movies now too, but
That's
they
right.
don't do near as well in the ratings.
Gotham City loves the chaos.
Yeah. Which other chaos? Ostapenko, that has been some chaos. And I think also just some classic like European American driven conversation about European like people, because Ostapenko, like whenever English is the second language, words get twisted.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what happened. And I think Coco Gauff and like a few other players said the same thing about her, the uneducated comment to Townsend after the match is what I'm referring to.
Right.
They're like, nobody has really had an issue with her like that off the court before.
Right.
And Ostapenko, she came out on her Instagram story saying like, this isn't how it's being twisted is not what I meant. I meant like your on-court etiquette, which I don't even think Townsend took it the wrong way either, based off of how she was speaking in her press conference. And it's just like the reporter just tried to get Naomi Osaka, because Osaka, she doesn't know what happened in the moment.
Yeah.
And then Osaka says what she says about it, like possible, there's no room for that in our sport, yada, yada, yada. And I don't think she was doing that coming from a bad place. She just doesn't know. And somebody's putting her on the spot about a situation she doesn't know about.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's annoying.
It is annoying. A lot of silly stuff. Like, I mean, I've heard that different people say that, yeah, it was racist to say that. I'm like, I've heard that the uneducated or the education word being used by Eastern Europeans before. The last time was in the Toronto Masters final ceremony where Hatchinoff talked about Ben Shelton, another African American player.
Yeah.
And he said, you and your family are amazing. Like your team is. Where he goes to your family. Congrats, you have an amazing son. Like Brian, you have an amazing son. Like smart. I think he said something like smart, educated. Yada yada yada. And I think they're literally using the word educated as like polite or like
right.
Well, And so when Ostapenko's saying that, like she could be like, you're not being polite, or you don't know what you're talking about. And yeah, you can either people take things, and they can either be the victim or not. And like, I don't think Taylor Townsend was saying that it was racist or being the victim. Like, other people doing that for her.
Right. Which is always crazy to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, wait a minute. So the person that this was done to is all good with it.
Yeah.
But you're watching it, you're offended.
Yes.
Somebody make it make sense.
Exactly. Well, Taylor Townsend, so impressive, gets that win. I believe won another match after that.
She did. She beat Andreeva.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, won another match. Who did she beat? Yeah, Mira Andreeva. Yeah, no big deal. So takes out the 5th seed, I believe. And then, unfortunately, against Krejcikova, I was watching that match yesterday. I was watching the tiebreak.
Dude,
it was like 8th match point. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then Krejcikova saves it, wins the tiebreaker like 2 points later, and I was like, this match is over.
Yeah, I know. She saved 8 match points in the second set tiebreak. Gosh. But Krejcikova, man, she's back because she was I guess it was Wimbledon is when she was breaking down against Navarro with her body. And then boom, US Open, she's rolling. Seems like she's in great shape. If you're able to pull off one of those wins, you got to be feeling good. So.
For sure, that's a physical win. The consolation for Taylor Townsend there is, $400,000 from losing in the 4th round.
And just, like amazing doubles player being able to make a deep run on the single side. Yeah. And she was fun, dude. I enjoyed all of her matches. She has, anytime somebody comes to the net, I find it to be a fun brand of tennis to watch. I like her attitude and competitiveness post-match, pre-match. Like she's got a killer instinct to her. She has a dog mentality, and she's fun to watch. I hope this gives her some more confidence and the momentum in the single side of things too, because she'd be a great one. I love watching her play. So
yeah, same, man. She's fun.
Another one, I guess, let's see. Another one that I just saw recently, a little headline was Medvedev ending his partnership with Gilles Servara.
Yeah.
What do we think? They seem to have some great words for each other.
Yeah, I saw that, and it made me sad. Like I was like, Gil Savara is he's like an iconic coach on the ATP tour. I think now, mainly because of the partnership with Medvedev and getting a guy like that, honestly, with like the the untraditional strokes or non-traditional strokes, world number one, U.S. Open champion. Like when he was at his peak, like 2019 to 2022, three, like and he was beating Djokovic like on hard. Like at one point, you're just like, he's the best hardcore player in the world. He was kind of like
Right.
Sinner before Sinner. Like he's literally right now better than Djokovic on hardcore. That's crazy to do. Like and really so and he's always had Medvedev's always had the propensity to blow up and go crazy and get on his box.
Right.
There's that iconic moment where Jill just like walks out of the stadium when he's and he's always wearing a New York Rangers hat. Like he just
Yeah.
clearly like he's just kind of a G and just he doesn't give a rip. He's like, you're gonna yell at me, I'm out of here, bro. Like I'm not leaving you, but I'm not sitting here.
Right. This me being here is not productive for anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Like he has a high level of self respect, which you could tell, which I
Right.
love.
It'll be interesting to see who I don't know if maybe he's announced it, but who he goes with next, because it is a personality that you got to be a coach that can handle the ups and downs of a player like Medvedev, and I feel like there's not a lot of players out there like Medvedev, so there's definitely not a lot of coaches out there, but
Oh.
what a guy to coach too. I mean, he seems like he would be an awesome person to be around for a whole season on the tour. Obviously, he has the moments in match, but he seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
And a fun hang outside of it. So I'll be curious to see who he joins with.
Yeah, for sure. That's that. I don't really know who's like a free agent right now in the coaching side of things, but I definitely think Medvedev's got more to it, more left in the tank. I don't think he's done. Like his rankings dropped, but I think he's gonna. I think he can have a much better year next year than he did this year. He's just got to figure out some freshness to his game for him to be able to get more wins. It's essentially just that.
Right. And then I think we would be remiss if we didn't just at least touch on. I know the people they sent some Alcaraz love for me, but if you love sports, you love this behind the back shot that he hit yesterday.
Yeah.
Because what in the world is this man doing on the court, dude? It's getting to the point where I don't know if it's being applauded enough in the general sports world of like how insane that shot was.
No.
Because that ball that's being fired back at him is not coming in soft.
Yeah.
And to
Wasn't it
hit
like a
a back,
smash?
dude, yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, because I was just walking, we were like doing work stuff with my full time job, and I was scrolling my phone real quick to see, and that comes on my feed, and I'm just like showing the people around me mid football game. I'm like, dude, how does he do this? Football. They're like, wait, who is that? I'm like, let me tell you,
Well,
it's this guy, Carlos Alcaraz.
yeah. Alcaraz is that freak. Like he's this freak athlete. Like any of those guys in the football field, I feel like would respect him as an athlete. Like he's absolutely ripped, as explosive and as fast as like I would guess like any of those guys. Like if you put him on a field with some cleats, and he's just like in that match doing that point, winning. Like I haven't been concerned about him even coming close to losing a match at all this tournament. Like he looks absolutely locked in. The buzz cut, and he'll like another one of the highlights I saw was him hitting this forehand so hard cross court where it's like
Yeah.
the guy he was playing was hitting big shots and then they were kind of in a rally and then Alcaraz is like, you know what, this rally's over, and just like crushes the ball cross court at an angle that like you shouldn't be able to hit that ball that hard at that angle, but he just does because he's different. And
that's him and Sinner. It does just feel like that. Rally. Okay, I think I'm done.
yeah,
It's like, okay,
we're done here.
This isn't even fair.
Yeah,
But Alcaraz is playing Lehechka in the quarterfinals.
yeah.
So I kind of you feel like you'd predict more of the same from Alcaraz.
Yeah, I would say so. Lehechka is dangerous and does hit a huge ball, but yeah, I've heard different things, but Zverev was saying the conditions are very slow at this U.S. Open, so that helps Alcaraz if that's true. So
Yeah, are the conditions ever fast anywhere?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, Wimbledon, yeah, quicker, and then like the Australian Open. That's why Alcaraz hasn't really done as well there. I think like so.
I just feel like every tournament comes around and everyone's like, the balls are slow, the courts are slow. It's like, all right, are they slow or are you just not winning?
Shots fired. No, that's true. But the question coming out of Wimbledon, right, was can Alcaraz compete with Sinner on a fast surface? And the US Open can be like either. So some years it's
Right.
like faster, some years it's slower. So if this year it's slower, I think it gives Alcaraz a much better shot if they do play in the final of competing with them. Not competing like can he compete with him? Obviously he can, but like can he beat him on a hard court that's quick?
Yeah.
He hasn't done that in a while. Um, but if it's slow, and Alcaraz has kind of played better this tournament so far. I think it's pretty intriguing. The ball bouncing high, Alcaraz having the swag, and definitely the support from the crowd. If they do get to a final, I think the conditions are pretty interesting
He,
for Alcaraz's favor. But I do know what you mean. It's like the players like Zverev's losing every tournament. He's like too slow. I can't. The conditions are too slow.
right. I'm like, man, everybody's playing on the same court.
It's like we're at Wimbledon.
Yeah. We're at Wimbledon, man. Put the fries in the bag.
Yeah, that's funny.
But it's gonna be good, dude. Alcaraz is definitely a New York City guy.
Oh yeah, oh
You
yeah, and
know,
he did. It's not like he shied away from the Vamos before. He did every single day in the fan week. He was doing like 3 events. That's why we couldn't get him at Canada House because he was like, "Bro, I would love to come,
right?
but I've got like 3 events that I'm
He's
doing."
like, you should have reached out earlier. I would have made sure it happened. It's just a little bit too late notice. See you
Yeah,
at Indian Wells, though.
he did say that, so that's exciting. Yeah, the slice is presented by Canada House. The next one will be at India Wells. I guess I'm just announcing that now. I did announce it at New York City, but we will. That's our next plan. So see what happens. See what happens. On that note, should we take a look at the comments from the last
Oh
video?
yeah, forgot to let the people know if you want to be featured on the slice, all you have to do, it's so simple. You go on YouTube, you go to your search bar, you type in the Slice Tennis Podcast or just the Slice Tennis. It will come up. You'll see a green logo. You'll click on videos playlist or you'll click on podcast playlist.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the podcast playlist because you'll have a higher chance of being featured, unless your comment is a hilarious one that makes it on one of Steven's breakdown videos, which you should also watch
Mm-hmm.
and which is also amazing content. But go click on the podcast playlist, click on the most recent podcast, and then you move your mouse down to the comment section, type out what you want, press send with the mouse again, and then the very next week, Steven and I will read that comment that you just that took you 30 seconds to do. You get featured. It helps us, and we all get to have fun with your comment, whether it's a nice one, a mean one, a funny one. It's all content, and that's the
Yeah.
game we're in.
Yeah.
You
And
have the
I got a
first
funny one to start with for JP. I love this comment.
perfect.
This is
I'm
one
trying
we
to pull up
actually
the comments on my end right now.
yeah. This one's not the first one, JP, on my end at least. It's the second one, but it's from Kathy M2511. And this is the one
Kathy.
we were talking about. So she goes, Man Candy J. Oh wait, no. That's hilarious. She was just mentioning she was bringing up because you got roasted in another comment on one of our other videos, like one of my breakdown videos, where the guy called you Man Candy J, loves
Yeah.
Alcaraz, and does it, yada yada. So I'll just go. Kathy M says Man Candy J with heart eyes and laughing face. Says rule book leaves the repeat first serve decision after a disruption to the discretion of the umpire. So this is about the Medvedev blow up earlier
Right.
in the tournament. I love Medi riling up the crowd. As for Carlos, he said in his presser that Victor, his barber, didn't come to New York because it's too far for his brother, or too far. So his brother grabbed clippers, the machine, and had no clue what he was doing. He just chopped into Carlos's hair. Carlos said the only way to fix it was to shave it all off. Buzz Carraz was born. He wasn't really thrilled, but he said his hair grows fast and it'll be fine soon. He thought the reaction of the public was crazy. Love the show. Never miss.
Shout out Kathy for never missing the show. And you
Cat.
know she's dialed in because she knew the Man Candy J comment.
Yeah, 100%. Man Candy J. Can you just change your name to that? Man Candy J.
I might have to change my all my handles. But what I'm mainly taking away from this comment is that I gotta see the photo of Alcaraz's hair before he buzzed it off, seeing
Yeah.
what his brother tried to do.
Oh, yeah. I know. You already know because, like, I mean, I don't know what he was trying to do. I'm sure, like, did he like if you're cutting your buddy's hair, like, and I'm assuming you're trying to do some type of fade.
Right.
Like, you just start with the bottom. So if you like, it goes in it short. Well, you can still kind of fix that as you fade it up. Was he just like from the middle? He's just like,
I just picture Alcaraz hitting the, oh, Dios mío.
yeah,
And then
exactly.
boom.
They're just screaming at each other. They're
Yeah.
Spanish so loud. They're just like, oh my.
Oh, it's so funny. Next one, Brenda Johnson. Shout out Brenda Johnson,
Brenda,
as always.
Brenda, what's up, girl?
King Carlos looks awesome with the buzz cut and the purple rain kit. He's locked in for combat. He's got ammo in the guns. The
Mm.
word is he asked his brother for a trim and things went wrong, so he had no choice but to cut it off. He even shaved the pits to have a good clean look when he's lifting the trophy. I love it.
No, he didn't, Brenda. Did he?
Maybe. I'm not one to question Brenda.
How do you know that, Brenda? That's my bigger question.
She's locked in, man. You know this.
She's locked into the hair situation on her man. That's funny. He's got ammo in the guns. That is
I like that. I can't believe I've honestly never heard that one.
if it like that's a great way to pump a guy up. Like if someone was saying that to me, I'd be like, let's go.
Because
I'd
it's
do it from,
like
like Felix
obviously you hear like, oh, the gun show, but you never hear, oh no, the guns are out and he's got ammo in them.
yeah.
Like, dang, I need to get some ammo. Right now, I'm empty.
Just on that note, I don't know why I'm thinking of it right now, but like the Felix like mean mugging look, like what had you ever seen that from him before? Like how much, how well did he do?
Great mean mug look. I mean, I haven't checked his Instagram. I would assume that's one that's the first picture on a carousel post.
Yes, I think he posted a video essentially of his reaction on TikTok, and it's a sick clip because like all the Canadian guys in the crowd go like, and he's just like,
Dude, shout out to the fans that were supporting, like that were at Dennis's match.
yeah.
Those ball boys were out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The ball boys were out. They're crushing it. Sorry, diversion from the comments. You got another one there?
Yeah. This one is from RagD2163. Thank you guys for mentioning Alex on your podcast and promoting for our country. Shout out to you. Shout out to the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Many more to come. A lot of positive things coming for the Philippines and Alex Eala.
Let's go. I was looking at Kathy M's comment on you replied to it 5 days ago, and she replied to you, and she just goes, "My son lives in Nashville too."
She's tapped in. Kathy, I want to meet, but hopefully I meet your son.
That'd be awesome. All right, and then Karen Gowron says, "Carlos looks good with hair or no hair."
Okay, Karen.
That's right.
Geo Air Travel. Another one, but we just always love and appreciate.
Another one.
Heart emoji, Canada flag emoji. Another great episode, guys. Thumbs up emoji. Medvedev's decline this season is painful. He really is in a bad mental state, needs help. Carlitos looks ready to go for a war with a tennis racket emoji with his haircut. Cool face emoji.
Yeah.
Let's go, Geo Air Travel.
Sleepy at Dawn 7648 says, blame the photographer, blame the umpire that followed the rules. But Mehdi the clown is so funny. Like, seriously, guys, if he wants to be a clown, he can leave tennis. The sport doesn't need this shit.
Damn.
I don't know about that. I really don't know about that.
I mean, Daniil Medvedev is ultimately one of the best players on the tour.
Yeah.
When he's locked in, and the tour needs him. And yes, he's going through some tough stuff right now, but I think it's also fair to say that some of his antics are funny.
Oh yeah, I would say most of them are, and they're a net benefit. Like, they get new eyeballs on tennis. Like when he was like, "This is going to be on tennis TV, bro."
Yeah,
he's just the funniest guy. Like I seriously think he's probably the funniest guy on tour.
Has to be. Last one is from Datura Inoxia 7783. Sinner Maniac. I'm assuming this is what he is. But both Sinner and Alcaraz kits are bad for the U.S. Open. Especially Yonex would be good for clay. And by the way, bad shoe selection. Clown Shelton won't win anything. Never. All caps. Well, depending on what you're talking about, he already did win something.
Yeah.
This year.
Like a Masters. That's pretty big. So
yeah.
This guy's got opinions, though. He lets them fly.
Yeah, I mean, I respect it. And, until Shelton wins, the guy's right for now.
Yeah, till he wins a major. And I honestly don't even know what their outfits are. I don't even know what Sinner's outfit is.
I kind of thought, honestly, I felt like I've seen Alcaraz wearing different stuff, but
Yeah, I
who
don't know,
knows, man?
but
I don't really get involved in all the kit stuff. I think it's not really my speed to be. This kid
yeah,
is horrible and like get my pants in a wad about it.
yeah. So today's we got the second set or the second day of round 4 matches at the U.S. Open, starting in like 2 hours here. So Felix plays in 2 hours. So this will be out after he plays. So Rublev versus Felix. I'm literally predicting a Felix win. I think if he could play the way he did against Zverev, he can beat Rublev. I think he can beat Minaur. He can beat a lot of the guys on tour. And the more the more matches like this he gets, the more he's going to have confidence in them. So big matches today. We'll have a quarterfinal preview probably later tonight, early tomorrow for you. So thanks for being here on the podcast. Thanks for being here on the channel. Follow JP and I on Twitter to get daily updates on what's going down at the US Open. But other than that, that's all I got.
That's all I got as well. Subscribe, keep subscribing, keep enjoying the US Open. It's the last Grand Slam of the year, guys. Make the most of it. So
That's
appreciate you. And subscribe. See you next week. Shelton's going to win.
He's going to win something.